Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Buster Taste Challenge. This taste challenge involves two blended Scotch whiskies. This is Journey and Brooks J&B Rare. Why? It's so rare you can get it at Walmart. This company was established a long time ago, but the actual Scotch really wasn't. But 1749, Journey and Brooks wine brokers and liquor brokers. That's what they mainly do, buy and sell, procure spirits. And their website is like, you can just read all day, all the stuff they have. Green bottle. But in 1933, it was said at the end of Prohibition, which we could estimate be 1933, might have been 34, well, let's just say 33. They came out with this house brand. They don't really have their own distilleries. They just contract out people. Journey and Brooks, distilled, blended, and bottled in Scotland. So it's kind of deceptive in a way, like you're thinking this Scotch has been on the market for 270 years. There's really 86 years. But the company is, yes. And it's by official appointment to the crown. The company more than the Scotch brand. And they talk about all the kings since the monarchs since King George III. So they were official procurers of liquor to the crown. King George III, George IV, William IV, Queen Victoria, Edward VII, George V, Edward. Well, they don't say Edward VIII on the bottle. They say his late Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, 1921 to 1936. So they sort of avoid that little problem there. George VI and Queen Elizabeth II. Okay, Dallas Cowboys says, good morning, brother. Good morning to you. Thanks for watching. Okay, so that's just Journey and Brooks. It's owned by Diageo today. So you get on their website, and there might be a way for you to order some liquor that you can't find. I'm not sure, but it's their inventory. I don't mean the J&B Scotch website. That's just a brand website. I'm looking at that right now. 42 different single malt and column still grain whiskeys are blended into this. 42. At the heart of J&B Rare are malt whiskeys from Speyside, a region recognized as the superior area in Scotland for making single malt whiskey. They provide the fruity, fresh quality you can taste and also give J&B Journey and Brooks its light color. Added, and they needed to put a space there. You can find a lot of mistakes on these websites. Added to that are some of the finest grain whiskeys Scotland has to offer. They help reveal the individual flavors of the various malts. And then there's also a J&B, like a bee, a honeybee, because it's honey flavored. I've never seen it in a store. All right, did they make some other specialty J&B? Yes, but they don't list it on the website. Like John and Neely and I saw like a black bottle, and it was $250. It's like an 18-year J&B, but they don't list that. Okay, at least on that. They might list it on the Journey and Brooks main website. Okay. Well, yeah, the grain whiskey is going to help reveal the single malt flavors because the grain whiskeys don't really have any flavor. They're just a base. And then the single malts where your flavor is going to come from. Just like if you get some of these American blended whiskeys, they'll say the finest grain spirits, grain neutral spirits. And then 20% straight whiskeys. Well, yeah, that's where the flavor is coming from, the straight bourbon whiskeys. And we did some Heaven Hill, which I'm not really a fan of, but Heaven Hill American blended whiskey. And my friend David said, oh, this stuff's pretty good. I didn't make a comment because I don't really like it, but he liked it from what, we added it to CBS, Canadian Breakfast Stout. We added some to spruce it up, and it did work. That video is forthcoming. But Highland Mist is the competitor. It's from Scotland. It's aged 3 years. J&B has no age statement. So how long is it aged? I couldn't tell you. At least 3 years, but I don't know. This is from 1957. It's bottled in Illinois by Barton Brands, who's owned by Sazerac. It's basic. This was $5.99 for the bottle, about as cheap as it gets. I did buy some straight bourbon whiskey over the summer that's even cheaper. It'd be mind-boggling when you see that one. It's like you might say, you can't get liquor that cheap. I bought it. Okay. And that's straight bourbon, not blended bourbon either. That's bizarre. Okay, so Highland Mist over here, because that's the one I'm going up against. In other words, Highland Mist, I'm doing it against all the other scotches I have. Tomorrow it'll be not tomorrow. Thursday be Cuddy Sark, and then Clan McGregor, and then Inverhouse. No, I already did. No, I didn't do Inverhouse, and then Piper Dean, and I'm missing one. Okay. I don't think that Highland Mist has much of a chance. Okay, I mean, we're talking about $5.99 a bottle at international market. If you buy it in your town, it's probably be more like $8.99. We have, oddly cheap prices here for some products. Now, some would be kind of expensive, but with liquor brands, especially not so much beer, you just find bizarre low prices that'll be significantly lower than other states, unusually lower. It's a beautiful label. J&B's got one of the best looking Scotch liquor labels in the world. I think it's just dynamite. Oh, it's been modified over the years, but not heavily. Highland Mist, they haven't really changed it. If you look at the old 1960s ads, it really didn't change too much. Yeah, they used to advertise in the magazines. But now they don't. Sazerac picks a few brands that they heavily push, and then the rest they just let them sell themselves. Like you'll see Taka billboards around here everywhere. You say Taka vodka, oh my goodness, yeah. Well, you see that. Southern Comfort all around, because they own Southern Comfort for the last 4 years. So, but other stuff, You might see point of sale, and that's it. You go in a liquor store, they might have a little cardboard display, set up. Like I did see for Hartley Brandy, of all things, Hartley Brandy at a liquor store in Kentucky. Okay. Now this Highland Mist is gold. Just gold, like, I don't know, straw. Or even more golden than that. Now this one is greenish yellow. This one is more straw, really. This Just Renee Brooks is more straw color. It's that pale gold, and it's has that greenish tint like you get with Clan McGregor and Cuddy Sark. I don't know why I would have that. It's just strange. Like if you get a Budweiser, just try it yourself. Get a Budweiser and pour it in a clear glass and look at it in good lighting, and you'll see, like, why does it look kind of green? I don't know. Now you might say, well, I'm colorblind. Well, if you're colorblind, it ain't gonna make much difference. I have well, not really a friend anymore. I could say some, but anyway, he went to elementary school with him, but he was colorblind. Is colorblind, and he was telling me black and white TV, color TV, it doesn't make any difference to me because I can't even see it. It doesn't. I'd say, what do you think about that red? He said, I can't tell red. The red, green, it's all the same to me. You couldn't tell the colors. So kind of interesting, huh? That's why it's not fair when the NBA has two teams wearing colored jerseys and they're playing colored uniforms, like the NBA, like last night, the Pelicans, New Orleans Pelicans, and Houston Rockets. Houston had all blue, and the Pelicans had, no, Houston had all red, and the Pelicans wore their blue uniforms. Solid red, solid blue. Well, now, if you're colorblind, you could have trouble tracking the teams. That's why they came out with home and away uniforms, white and then gray or white and colored. Because at one time, remember, television was all black and white and you wanted a contrast. Well, for people like that, there is none. They could probably sue the NBA using the Americans with Disabilities Act and say, you're violating my entitlement to see games with contrast. And you have to make a reasonable accommodation, which would be wear contrasting uniforms. You say, well, that's ridiculous. That interferes with private operation of their business. I know it does, but they could probably win. They probably have to wear contrasting uniforms, dark and light. And you might be saying, oh, I guess you support that law, huh? Americans with Disabilities Act. No, from 1990. No, I never said I supported that law. I'm just remarking on it. Canada Dry Hand says, Dewar's 12 years is a good scotch that isn't too expensive. I tried it once down the street at that guy's, well, he was staying with somebody, him and his wife, while they were waiting to get a new place to live. But I liked it. The Dewar's 3-year, the regular Dewar's, it was kind of like on par with this Highland Mist. Very grainy, tastes like corn. I had corn grits this morning. It was kind of like that. It was okay. There's nothing wrong with it. But I mean, I could get this for $5.99. So why would I pay $19.99 for Dewar's? You know what I'm saying? The 12-year was much nicer. Wasn't great, but it was much nicer. And he said, yeah, you can get a good price on that. And so that's what he drinks all the time now. Okay. Let's see if I can clear my nose. We were at work yesterday. All I do is blow my nose all day. And everybody was agreeing. Me too. Charlie, hey, Ron, trying the Jack Daniels white label. I think it's exclusive to Australia. Could be. I've never seen the white label. I've seen the green label in certain states. This smells very green. Think of corn, or as you might say in Europe, maize. Distilled. And that's it. You say corn whiskey, huh? Yeah, with a little underlying peat, but not much. Okay, over here. Even it's like everything I smelled there, but even less of it. It's such a neutral aroma. You say a neutral aroma. Yeah, it's like you could kind of tell it's whiskey. I mean, you could tell it's whiskey, but you can kind of pick up some faint dough, bread dough, which would be coming from the single malts. I would think the barley. I don't think either one of these has exactly the most fabulous aroma. Nothing bad, it just doesn't have much aroma. But it is a taste challenge, right? This is not a smell challenge. It's not a visual challenge. In the visuals, I would say J&B wins. That light color, that straw color is nice. But let's go with taste, shall we? Oh, by the way, the J&B was $18.99 at ABC Wine and Spirits in St. Petersburg, Florida. There's different locations around there, but the one on US Highway 92 northbound, what is that, 4th Street? Just look for the sign 92. That's easier sometimes than looking at those street signs, which they kind of small in a way. But the big highway sign, the black and the white contrast, can follow that route and you'll find it. You go see it. Big sign, ABC. Is there any smoke here? Yeah, a little. Any peat? Yeah, a little. Any grain? Yeah, a lot. But there ain't too much happening over there. That's just kind of like, you could drink it. You know, I have my eyes closed because of the contrast, and keep using that term today. But the difference in the shade, if I glance, I would see automatically which is which. That wouldn't be any kind of challenge. I don't want to corrupt the challenge. $5.99 and $18.99. Oh, well, $13. What I'm tasting so far is not a $13 better product. Would I pay $13 more to get what I'm tasting one against the other? Initially, I wouldn't. Would not. Now, Buchanan's, you're paying $30 more. You're getting $30 better product too. Here, and look, $18.99 is a low price. Yeah, that's not a normal price for J&B. You're normally going to pay $22, 23. They just had a strangely low sales price for that month when we were in St. Petersburg. And I told my father, let's stop over there, because I had looked on their website. And it was sounding like this month, saying something like this month only. And I was like, I can get it for way cheaper than here, and I'm going to be there anyway. I said, you ever heard of this brand? He said, who hasn't heard of that? All right. He doesn't drink, but he just said, who hasn't heard of that? He used to. Over here, it's a little lighter on the tongue, and I pick up a little bit more bread dough. What about smoke? Nah, not really, but bread dough. And that is making me think that it's the J&B, the Just Iranian Brooks, because you get a little more of that. They talk about space side fruity. Fruity? Pear, maybe. Pear. Say Bartlett pears, huh? Yeah. But it's all faint. Back to this. You see, I don't know, though. Because I keep thinking I'm picking up smoke on the left, could be to your right, but in my left hand. Why am I picking up smoke if that's Highland Mist? Because my experience so far with Highland Mist is forget about it. It's rated F for forget it. You know, forget about it with smoke. Yet, getting a little strange. So very strange. I didn't really think it was going to be much of a taste challenge, although when I was laying in bed last night, I thought maybe that could be more of a challenge than I am expecting. And my thinking has come in to be and has happened, because I was a little worried. Not real worried, just a little worried. If I'm having this much trouble, what do we know already? That's simple. That doesn't even take a lot of deduction, a lot of thinking. If I'm having this much trouble already deep into this challenge, and I paid $5.99 for Highland Mist, and I paid $18.99 for J&B, before I even call it, Highland Mist has won the challenge, right? It's won. It's like Rocky versus Apollo Creed, you know, that fantasy movie. I mean, yeah, it was a draw, but he won really because, in a practical sense, because you got the world-class Apollo Creed, the famous boxer, prize fighter from around the world, the champion, whatever times defending champion, against this schlub, you know, this club boxer, this guy who hustles around Philadelphia making $15 a match at some little boxing clubs, some little 2-bit shows. And they made it, you know, they staged it because it was going to be the bicentennial of America. And so it was like Apollo Creed's going to do him a favor to let a bum basically fight, an overage bum basically fight the world champ, just as a show. It's like a favor to show his magnanimity, you know, his kind-heartedness. And but he barely survived the fight. You say, well, J&B ain't exactly world class like Apollo Creed. I know I'm not. That would not really make sense. But you know, it's in that same idea. But like Rocky said, if I could just go to distance, I would feel like I won because I should be out in the first round. It shouldn't even be. It should be laughable. That's what he was thinking. This should be laughable. It's not a credible match. But then he had the trainer, you know, the same old boxing story movies like, nah, I'm gonna tell you something, Rock. That guy's got some deficits. And so, yeah. But this is the same kind of scenario because it should be a laugh riot and it isn't. So by virtue of just that, then the Highland Mist has already won. It's already won. Just being in the game, it's won. You say, well, that's a moral victory. Yes. Gotta call it. Can't do this all morning. Okay, I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to say and if you remember the end of the movie, Apollo Creed won by 2-1 vote. So in a technical sense, he won, but his mindset was, I didn't really win. You know, it doesn't even make sense. It should have been no contest and I'm getting killed and barely surviving against this nobody. And so this is the same thing. J&B should be running away with the contest. And here's a nobody, Highland Mist, which lurks in the dark corners of America's cities. And it's not winning, but it's competing. It's battling. And you say, oh, I can't believe it. Be like if Rice University plays Ohio State in Columbus and it's 35-34 into the fourth quarter. And then, of course, you know, Rice fumbles or something and Ohio State holds on to win 35-34. But that would be a loss. And really, because they would drop in the polls, they would probably, if 5 teams finish undefeated, they wouldn't get invited to the playoff. You know, it would be catastrophic. But these things happen. And sometimes even the more unbelievable thing happens. Rice University 0-9 will go in there and win. And then people just say, I was there. I was at that game. And you just can't fathom it. It doesn't make any kind of sense, except that these are players, they're grown men, and you just gotta watch it. Ask the Saints what happened Saturday, what happened Sunday, huh? Okay, so I'm gonna say this is Highland Mist. Am I confident in that? Not particularly confident. To say that I'm worried would be very accurate. Shocked, definitely. Troubled, certainly. Confused, absolutely. Entertained, thoroughly. Because I love these kind of contests. I'm going to take that back. I think this is Highland Mist, and I think that's J&B. Yes. Took me all this time to do that, but I really do think that. So I'm going to look at this. If this says HM, I'm going to feel bad, but it doesn't. Ha, ha, ha. I was rescued at the last moment, but I was saved by the bell, basically, just like in that movie. Because, you know, Apollo Creed was going down in that round, but he was saved by the bell. See, Mike Tyson didn't have that advantage. He just got the uppercut and he was out. Have you ever had the J&B 12 Canada Dry Handset? No, I've never even seen it. I never even heard of it. I wish these companies would not just list some of their stuff. It's really irritating. I mean, it's really irritating. I'll give you an example, and then I'm getting off the air or off the wire. Well, you might have Wi-Fi, so then it's the air. Look, my friend David brought over this Tiger beer, big old 500 milliliter can. All right, we drank it, we loved it. Okay, Tiger beer, you know, from Singapore since 1932. Asian beer. I forgot to take my vitamin C. That's why I don't get colds anymore. Maybe once every 5 years, I'll catch a cold. True story. I used to get them every year and be nasty cold. I started taking one vitamin C every day. I never get a cold. And if I catch a cold, it's not bad. It goes away. You're like, you say, that's a supplement. There's no medical proof that vitamin C helps. I don't care what the medical proof says. I'm telling you, my absolute experience is that it works now. Might just be available in Europe. So anyway, you get on like Tiger Beer website. Only thing you're going to see is Tiger Beer. Nothing. Which is good. It's a great beer. But if you go to Asia Pacific Brewery's website, oh my word, Asia Pacific Breweries, there's 5, 6 different Tiger beers. 5 or 6 different Tiger beers. And that's just the beginning. They got all kind of stuff. There's an extra strong 8.8. Can't remember the name of it. And then there's an extra strong 11%. I said, you see now, and there's all kind of stuff. Stouts, imperial stouts, India pale ales, the whole run, everything. ESBs, all kind of rice lagers. I say, you know, this is really sickening in a way because this company, Asia Pacific Breweries, makes this whole huge portfolio of what we would call craft beer in the United States. But since it's not a tiny family-owned business, then it just gets disqualified as craft beer by some arbitrary standard, you see. I say, well, you know, we would try all of these. We would try them all and probably give them good reviews, assuming they're good. You know, but I mean, they're probably good based on what we experienced with Tiger. We get that one. J&B, we get that one. There's way more than one J&B. But it goes on and on. Liquor, wine, beer. I don't care what it is. You get any of these Sazerac things like Highland Mist. Hell, excuse my language. You say, well, there's Highland Mist. It's 80 proof. It's aged 2 years, and that's it. Oh, yeah. Man, look, I was looking on the internet. I saw a photo of Highland Mist 12-year age. You see what I'm saying? You might walk into a liquor store in some obscure town like Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I don't know. Just pick an obscure town. Longview, Texas. I don't know. And you say, Highland Mist 12-year. You know, like, but this doesn't exist. It exists. It's there on the shelf. Like, that's what I'm talking about. It is so strange. You say, well, Budweiser, there's just Budweiser. Wrong again. There's a lot of Budweisers. You say, oh, yeah, you mean like black lager. Yeah, that. The Jim Beam black Budweiser. This Budweiser Harvest Reserve, they only sell in Nebraska and Iowa. Heard people raving about it, how good it was. Think you're going to see it? No. Go to India, Budweiser Maximus. No. Budweiser Magnum. What is it? It's a black can. It's 8% alcohol. It doesn't end. In China, there's all kind of Budweisers. Pabst Blue Ribbon, same story. Go to China, Pabst General Beer, So what is general beer? It's like a military uniform. It doesn't stop. Doesn't stop. Doesn't stop. Doesn't stop. He said, well, there's only so much room on a shelf in a store. I know that. I don't, but I just seen, if I owned a liquor company or wine or beer, I would have everything posted. You know what I'm saying? I would have when it came out, the year of introduction, where it's available in every variant. You know what I'm saying? I would have everything posted. Hey, look, they got some bizarre stuff out there. And don't even mention the travel exclusives. These are things that are only available at airports. And I'm not joking. I'm not trying to be like comedic at this point. You can go to an airport. You might see Budweiser India Pale Ale. I'm not kidding. It's incredible. It's unfair in a way, though, because does liquor stores in the U.S. have websites that are inventory? Because in Canada, they do. Some do, some don't. Depends on the liquor store. And remember, in Louisiana, everybody sells liquor. It's not like you got to go to a liquor store to get liquor. All right. I can go to the gas station. They got a whole array of gin, vodka, rum, brandy, cognac, brandy, all sorts of whiskey, every kind of beer, wine. Okay. So it's different than other states. In Louisiana, every store is a liquor store. Okay. Walmart. You could spend your whole life just reviewing what's available at Walmart. Only Walmart, you'd never run out of videos, ever. It would be impossible. You could never run out. If you did one video a day, you would never run out. That could never happen. So this is what I'm talking about. In a state like Louisiana, where every store is a liquor store, well, you run across some very strange items. And you say, why is this here? You know, where did this come from? I've had the experience. I went to Grand Isle, Louisiana, to Safeway, a small grocery store. We're not talking about a big grocery store famous for their beer selection. They're famous for like selling crab traps and cast nets, things like that. I say, oh, Pabst Ice. Like, you know how you go to the store sometimes and they have Pabst Ice beer? No, you don't know that. You see, and then that same store, Pabst Genuine Draft. You know how sometimes you go to the liquor store and they have Pabst Genuine Draft? No, you don't know that because you've never seen it. I bought it. I said, oh, and I saved the cans as proof because people would say you're lying, you're lying. I saved the cans mainly just to prove it. I wish I could have bought that J&B Black, but I wasn't paying $250 to prove a point. But St. Ides Gold. You say, oh, St. Ides, a malt liquor, 8%. No. It's a 5% gold lager. Colt 45 cold filtered lager beer, 5%. It goes on and on. It's unreal. It doesn't end. So with beer, wine, and liquor, never say never, because when you say never, you're going to turn around and you'll be like stunned. Stunned, shocked, intrigued. Thanks for watching this video production. Oh, and obviously Highland Mist wins. I could tell them apart with great effort. Great effort. It should not be a great effort to tell a $5.99 bottle from an $18.99 bottle, a sales price, but should not be any kind of effort, and it was. And there you go. There's your result.